I am so excited to be here with one of my childhood idols, Michael Boogaloo Shrimp Chambers, y'all. I am so excited. And got so many questions I want to ask you, Michael. But first off, here we are. We're actually at the New Wave Bar here in Bellflower, California, and we are getting ready for an epic evening of fans coming out to see you. You're actually going to be judging a breakdancing contest tonight. What's it like to be here and be running into so many fans?
Well, for me, this is just, it wasn't just spontaneous. I'm a pillar of the South Bay. A lot of people in this community, they have no idea that I was from the city of Wilmington. I used to dance at Del Amo Mall. I used to dance at Lakewood Mall and all of the other cities, surrounding cities. There's a new generation, of course, and a resurgence of dance. And what I wanted to do was bring the global phenomenon to the South Bay. And this is our little secret utopia. I wanted to show support to the New Wave restaurant. The 80s spawned a lot of icons and a lot of greatness. And kids need to go back to that wholesomeness. Kids and adults. We're bigger kids and, we're kids in bigger bodies. So the thing is, this is playtime. We were the generation that said no to a lot of racial tension, no to political things. We were the Woodstock. 80s was definitely the Woodstock. New Wave merged with hip hop. It did. You had people wearing metal, like you had Judas Priest, Flock of Seagulls, Cyndi Lauper, Boy George. You had transgender. You had everything, and nobody cared. It was all one love. And the thing is, I think one thing about the 80s, the young kids really need to see not so much the images of the icons, but what they were promoting. We were promoting love and unity in our way, in our own way, like Woodstock. For sure. So for us to come back and be united, we will send out those same messages that even though now we're families, we got kids, we're the cool parents. Do your thing, live your dreams, and you don't have to, you can do it sober, have fun, believe in the beat. This is our Zumba. This is our time. New Wave and those 30-second notes, you work out to New Wave music, you will burn more cardio than Zumba. That's healthy for a kid. And it's healthy for adults. We need to go back to our childhood. So that's why I'm here.
And that's why you're my idol, Michael, because I love 80s music. I'm a child at heart. The 80s were special to me, and I agree, man. When you really look at it, the unity that existed within so many different genres of music, like you said, you've got electropop, you've got Boy George, you've got all these different cultures and sexual orientations, gender identities, and it really, as a kid, I used to listen to Boy George, and I'm like, I love it. I didn't care if he was a man or a woman or a boy, whatever. And so I think you're so right, man. And we were talking earlier off camera about kind of the where things are now, with whether it's hip hop culture, whether it's dance, whether it's and like you were saying, you think that the new generation definitely has something to learn from how we did it 30 years back.
Yeah, because one thing that we accomplished in the 80s, we had fashion, we had style, we had class and coolness. You got to remember, the 80s made nerds look good. Revenge of the Nerds. Nerds were the internet, the Facebook moguls of that day. They knew how to do a Commodore 64. They knew how to solve the Rubik's Cube. And they knew how to do accounting. And they had Beamers. And they had the best cars and the best lifestyle. And when they went out on the dance floor, they had the best moves. Look at Kevin Bacon, Footloose. Yeah. So the thing is, people got to give credit to where credit is due. Look at Blondie. A lot of
was hanging out with Fab Five Freddy and that whole connection in New York, right?
Blondie went from Heart of Glass to rapping in Rapture, and she did a very good job. I still to this day love the fact that she did that, because it just goes to show that at the height of her career, she saw freestyling and the elements of hip hop and what was going on in the streets and incorporated it, and it was a hit. Like many others. Rod Stewart in Young Turk's video, Young Hearts Be Free Tonight. If you look in the background, he's got a dancer, he's got a popper, right? Stevie Nicks, Stand Back. Billy Idol. He's got the zombies popping. Everybody, Lionel Richie's all night long. Lionel doesn't dance, but he had dancers. Shaka Khan, the Gap Band. Everybody, Gladys Knight. Gladys Knight is not a dancer. But if you look at, she had Rocksteady or Ken Swift, the breakdancers. Malcolm McLaren, Two Buffalo Girls. The 80s incorporated what the people were doing. And it was like our Declaration of Independence. We the people. I think there were a lot of overtones that said, okay, you know what? Politics, Reaganomics are happening here. We're gonna do this here, and our governmental spiel is gonna be music, dance, unity, and no color lines, no gender, no race, no nothing. We're just gonna go for it and love our neighbors. One love, Jah love. And you know what? It's really beautiful because a lot of beautiful people became icons because they were free in the 80s.
Well, and I can't think of a better segue than to talk about your history, Michael, because you were and are very much something, more than something, I would say. And you, I mean, your history, your expertise, your resume is pages long. But you dropped some big names there a second ago. You mentioned Shaka Khan. You mentioned Lionel. Michael Jackson's another name that comes to mind. And you, especially in that time period, I mean, you worked with so many amazing artists. And do you have any memories that stand out in terms of what it was like back then to work with these folks? In many cases, in the case of Michael Jackson, actually kind of schooling Michael Jackson about how to do the moonwalk and all that. So that was pretty epic. But what are some good memories from those times?
Well, first of all, rest in peace, Michael Jackson. This guy, I gotta say, man, he deserves more credit than what he gets. Here was a man, a kid, who was brought up in entertainment, but he was very shy until they put the music on and let him do his thing. And he was always striving for excellence. He never said he made up anything. He always said he studied from the greats. Bob Fosse, Charlie Chaplin, Marcel. I mean, he looked at the entertainment world as a salad with all the fixings. Everybody that was great, he studied from them to become great. By the time him and I met, we didn't know what we were doing. We were just friends. I mean, we became friends right off the bat. I had a spot in 1983 on INLA. Paul Moyer did a thing on Hollywood Boulevard about the street dance culture. I featured my moonwalk backslide combination. The only way I can articulate this, if you're a martial artist and you know Taekwondo and you know Kung Fu, guess what? A lot of martial artists interpret everything, but somebody comes out with a new system. Bruce Lee stood alone. I'm not saying I'm Bruce Lee, but I'm saying everybody was doing the robot, doing locking, doing everything. When I came into the game, I came up with my own system, liquid animation. It's almost like Tai Chi, but it was based on the special effects industry. Ray Harryhausen, Clash of the Titans, stop motion. That was way beyond breakdancing. I'm not from New York. I looked at science fiction and I interpreted claymation into movement. It's just a weird thing of special effects. By the time Michael Jackson saw me, that step, the moonwalk, the backslide, it was already out. There was a guy named Jeffrey Daniels from Shalimar. Make that move. He did the step, and some kids on Soul Train did the step. But guess what? I was only like 5'5". I didn't have a long stride. I was very small in stature. So to compensate for my visual effect, I had to really elongate everything and make myself look bigger. Bingo. Michael Jackson on Motown 25, if you look at his feet, if you really look at it, he had a very small stride.
Yes.
Right after that, I was working with Lionel Richie on All Night Long.
Yeah.
Lionel and Michael were working on We Are the World.
Yep.
It's all relative. It's all Motown.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Lionel Richie invites Michael to one of his shows, Universal Amphitheater.
Okay.
Backstage, Michael's like, hi. Hi. We should get together and work out. I'm like, cool. It's almost like sparring with a martial artist. So this guy's cool. Let's just work out.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was embarking on,
Yeah.
but I was in the shadow of greatness. I had so much to give to him.
Yeah.
From 1983 to 1991, he got it.
Okay.
I have the title of being Michael Jackson's personal popping instructor.
Wow.
It was never documented, but if you think about it, Michael really went from jazz dancing. Look, for his solo,
Yeah.
he went from jazz dancing and a version of John Travolta from Grease.
Yeah.
If you look at Grease, Michael was looking at John Travolta, and he's doing a lot of John Travolta.
Yeah.
He went from Grease to actually a snap and a pop.
Yeah.
That's me.
Okay.
It's beyond the moonwalk. It's beyond.
Yeah.
I was like on Mars and Venus.
Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of stuff just comes organically out of a training session.
Yeah.
You can train with a Zen master. He's not going to tell you something. But when you go into a competition, you go, and you knock somebody out, and you go, I got it. Yeah. When Michael Jackson had his first lesson with me, it's online. 1983, he did Motown 25. 1984, right after our first lesson, if you go on the Jackson's Victory Tour, when his brothers and them were at Dodger Stadium, look at his Billie Jean number after I got with him. And you'll see what happened at that session. You will see Michael go from 0 to 60, but not just stop there. He goes around in a circular motion, just like the equator. He starts floating forward. He starts flowing forward, and he goes, that was me. That was my combination, and he realized, bingo. People went, whoa. We transformed that greatness from Motown 25 to greater. Then it didn't stop there. It got extra crispy. Our next session, he learned how to snap. You saw in 1987, Who's Bad? I mean, Michael was snapping so hard, bow, his rib looked like they were going to come out of his skin. But if you look at his outfit, and Electric Boogaloo, I was wearing the spikes, I was wearing the leather. He went from the Steve Urkel look to Who's Bad. So indirectly, he was picking up on fashion tips. You got the new wave, the whole Judas Priest, the Depeche Mode, on the policy of truth. I mean, the whole new wave thing, I exposed him. See, he was sheltered. He needed to get with the times. I was that guy.
In just the short time I've known you, Michael, very humble man. I mean, I know a couple times I've brought up some issues, and you're like, well, you know. But so I have no doubt. I mean, your humbleness, when you're talking about this, it's real. You obviously had a huge influence. And I kind of wanted to talk to you, kind of transitioning from Michael. Here we are, 2014. It's the 30th anniversary of Breakin' and then Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. And I remember seeing both of those movies in the theater. I was telling you earlier, I used to break dance. I used to watch, I would listen to the Breakin' and Beat Street soundtracks. Few people know this, but I had some cardboard laid out. And when watching those movies, and so many great dancers on there. I know there were a lot of folks involved, but I have to be honest, man, you were the guy with your Rising Sun bandana and your style and just your flow. You were the guy I emulated. You were the guy that I tried to mimic. And I can only think of how many thousands or maybe millions of people out there, especially over these 30 years, who've watched those movies and just really wanted to, incorporate your style. I mean, what a huge, wonderful legacy to have kind of inspired so many people.
The most incredible thing I've heard, and I've been getting emails from around the world, and I'm like really thankful to be alive at this time. They say I'm the father of dubstep. Dubstep dancing is based on robotics and illusions. They're calling me the father of dubstep. Because if you look at my Tour de France, I was doing illusions, but I didn't have a group.
Yeah.
One man, one stage, just like Michael.
Yeah.
After that, I did the Steve Urkel robot.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
One man, one suit.
Yeah.
After that, I played the robot in Bill and Ted's.
Yes.
Station.
Yes, yes.
I also played the cat in Opposites Attract
The Scat Cat, right? Yeah.
The Scat
I
Cat.
remember that.
on a green screen. So I was always pioneering the art to go into different facets other than what the media perceives as some kids with some nickels and a cardboard at a beach. You know, I'm not putting it down,
Yeah.
but where there's a start, there's always a finish.
Yeah.
At the beginning of ballet, I think people went, what the heck are these people doing in tights?
Yeah.
But then we have Mikhail Brezhnev, and they shut up, huh?
Yeah.
I think when people were tapping in New Orleans in shiny shoes, they shut up when Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire went, guess what? We like tapping. Or the Nicholas brothers. So there's always some doubt when you're embarking on greatness.
Yeah. It's uncharted territory, right? I mean,
That's why Breakin and the movies kind of went underground.
Yeah.
They didn't realize that we were promoting a whole culture.
yeah.
The culture and the thing that holds the film up, it's not me. It's the rapping,
Yeah.
the DJing, the clothes, the cultural unity.
Yeah.
In these times, the sheriffs and the LAPD have their hands full. You know why? There's so much racial tension. He's over here. He's over here. You go over here. And I got this. Everybody wants to send you back to Africa or send you back to your own lineage. But they forget. Maybe your parents were from there, but you were born here. We're united.
Yeah, especially with immigration, all the issues that are coming up. You make a really good point. Yeah.
Whatever. We are the spawn of God. And we believe in the true God because we don't care. We just love our neighbors. We don't harp on the rhetoric of these old generations. We just love and we live and we love our animals and we love nature and we love our bodies. And that's where we're going to progress. With this generation, the 80s and the music, we have the keys to help the kids not only get knowledge, but be healthy, be cool, but chill and love your neighbor. And that's why I'm in it. So with that said, I mean, for me, breaking represents a lot. Even though it's corny, it represents a fantasy that maybe kids in the inner city can break dance and use music as a united force.
Well, actually, Michael, in kind of looking back over the last 30 years, I want to talk to you about what the future holds for you. Some of the exciting development, some of the things that fans out there might be seeing more of a Michael Chambers here in the near future about. You want to give us some little insights into what's going on?
Probably the coolest thing I ever did for myself recently. I took a chance on stepping outside Boogaloo Shrimp, the dance box, and I took the role of James Brown. When Spike Lee lost the rights to the biopic, and it's true, I got a director who was in Texas, Xavier Ramirez. He took a chance on me doing my rendition of James Brown. And I didn't do the comedic version of James Brown that Eddie Murphy, Papa, see, no. I actually studied his gestures. I went into character, learned his song list, did everything. I have a body of work called I Got Soul. It doesn't have the financing of the new movie financed by Mick Jagger. We are trying to get my work out there because it will be the first time people will see what became of me as an actor. James Brown doesn't break dance. I like this. In my short film, I'm not only acting, but I'm singing. That is pretty sick. We're trying to get that to the forefront. And hopefully people will look at me in a different light and say, you know what? Guess what happened to Turbo? He became an entertainer. I became a singer. I'm an actor. I'm a comedian. I have several irons in the fire. I've done a short film called The Hotel with Darren Henson from Stomp the Yard. Where I play another character. I look forward. This is what I perceive, where I'll have a home and a longevity. technology has gone from special effects, claymation, CGI to Motown. If you look at Planet of the Apes, that little Caesar character, that was all Motown. I'd like to reach out to Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, George Lucas, and all the special effects community to let them know I'm a Motown actor. Depending on the character and my dance background, I can bring to life, like, I perceive myself being like a new kind of minion in Stan Lee's movie, like Fantastic Four, another trilogy. Like a Silver Surfer or some sort of goth alien. I can see me totally being a character in a Star Wars film in one of the cantinas. Maybe Darth Vader says, you know what, I need to rest. Who's going to be dancing in the cantina? Me. If they do Stargate, I can be a hieroglyphic that comes to life as a court gesture.
I like that.
I see myself using my techniques to bring to life very cool characters because we want to see them move.
If George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, John Carpenter, any of you guys are out there watching this, which I know you are, of course, please get a hold of this guy. Up on the screen, we have some contact info, your Facebook, just on Twitter. So a lot of ways for folks to find out what's going on in the life of Michael Chambers and to follow all your projects coming up here in the near future, man.
Yeah, go to boogalooshrimp.com.
There you go, up on the screen, right on. Well, Michael, one last thing. I've waited about 30 years to do this. I am wondering if, and I'm not gonna, we're not gonna stand up and get all crazy here with dolphin dives, but I'm wondering if I can do just a little bit of a little pop and lock, maybe a kind of a wave to just sign us out here. Is that all right?
Send your energy.
Okay,
Send it.
okay, here we go, guys. All right. Yes, indeed. All right, Michael. Thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure, man.